Good morning and welcome to today's edition of TVC Breakfast. Thanks for being there. My name is Etoma Edu.
Well, good morning, Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to another beautiful day where we get to update you on everything that happens in Nigeria. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. My name is Ria Abdul.
Indeed, Nigeria, it is time for breakfast. And I'm very pleased that out of all the places you could be, you're choosing to spend your morning here with us on the TVC Breakfast Show. You are very welcome. My name is Olamide Odekunle.
It's the midweek edition. We're happy to have you again joining us on TVC Breakfast. I'm Ibrahim Sheta. We're here to give you all the information you deserve to know. Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Well, I'm very excited this morning. Ask me why.
Why?
Only you know.
Nigeria. We won the match.
okay.
And you know that I predicted it. I said 3-0, but then they now dashed me Jara. They just gave me one extra to make it 4-0.
And it's our boy Osimhen.
I know, right? I'm so excited about that. But
Did you give him a call?
Absolutely, I did. I said, hey, babe, you are doing so well.
It
was that a hat trick I saw just then? But anyway, honestly, things like usually boost our morale.
Exactly.
So important.
And that's why I'm boosted up this morning. I'm so hyped up. Congrats to them. I'm sure we'll talk about it, in sporting life. But yes, there's a lot to talk about on the show this morning. You know how we do it. At some point, Ibrahim will let us know everything that made it to the headlines of the newspaper. And then we have FCT brief where we go to Abuja and they give us all the brief. Back in Lagos, we'll have a very important interview where we talk about traditional leaders. And then the beautiful Olamide will take us to trending now, everything that has happened in the world of social media and more. Well, please grab your cup of coffee and let's have a fantastic show. Now, we'll start with the story where the federal government of Nigeria has announced that mathematics will no longer be a compulsory subject for arts and humanitarian students seeking admission to tertiary institutions. Now, according to the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, this policy change aims to expand access to tertiary education and promote flexibility in admission policies across institutions. Now, in Kenya, a similar change has been implemented under the competency-based curriculum, CBC. Senior high school students can now choose not to take mathematics, selecting instead from various pathways, including arts and sports, science, social sciences, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM. Now, the mandatory subjects for all students include English or Kenyan Sign Language, Kiswahili, physical education, and community service learning. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, has also weighed in on the importance of mathematics. Now, the head of WAEC's national office, Mr. Charles Eguridu, believes that mathematics shouldn't be compulsory for students pursuing courses unrelated to maths. However, WAEC still considers mathematics a crucial subject, particularly for science and some art courses. When I saw this topic, I was very, very happy to speak about it because I'm still not happy with my maths teacher. No, I'm very, very not happy with him because all the time he was telling me, find Y, find X, find Z. In my day-to-day life, I have not found Y up till now.
You're still looking for Y
I'm
till
still
now.
looking for Y up to now. And even at those times, I've always said it. I wanted to do journalism. Why did I have to pass maths? Because I'm going to say it on national TV. I didn't know maths. I never knew maths. It was my worst subject, so I hated my maths teacher. And now hearing the fact that it's not compulsory, I'm like, I think that is an idea that we should welcome because a lot of students that do not want to do anything related to maths, they get to now suffer, try to understand it. We know how difficult it is to understand maths. But Etoma, what do you make of this?
I got angry that this thing did not happen when I was in secondary school because I also had a lot of problems with mathematics. But this, I think, is a fallout of the recent AU summit they had on harmonizing secondary school teacher training education for the whole of Africa, so that the teacher in Nigeria has the same training with the teacher in South Africa and the same training with the teacher in Cote d'Ivoire and so on. That way, they can be borrowing teachers from here. You know what universities do where they go for sabbaticals and all that. They're trying to do that. And then everything will be harmonized. The curriculum also will be harmonized and so on. It just happened 2 weeks ago in Addis Ababa, that mathematics is out, there are so many children that will be jumping on the streets. They are really happy. You are not the only one that was angry with your mathematics teacher. I didn't like mine. I don't know about you guys, but mine was a very strict guy.
They usually are.
Yes, you have to know what is in this mathematics that you don't know.
And you know the thing, Olamide, the way they'll be explaining it to you, it's like you should just grasp it, you should understand it. And for people that do not want to do anything related to maths, why do they have to pass through that?
Absolutely, Ria. Like you rightly said, I struggled with mathematics as well, and I think a lot of people in the creative and arts classes could relate with that.
Yeah.
Maths teachers are not going to be happy about this. They love, like you said, to make us find X and find Y. I think this is great. I think that for many years, students with other creative pursuits and linguistic skills and creative capabilities, they were locked out of higher institutions simply because they did not understand the complexities of maths. And I think this really tells me that there's a shift from focusing on one-size-fits-all academic excellence to now embracing all the gifts that a student could possibly have. The issue now with this will now be, can they handle the new influx of students who don't need that maths requirement without compromising entry standards? I think that's where the challenge will lie.
And I know that Ibrahim really knows maths. I think he's the only one on this table.
He
That's
likes
why
maths.
he's been keeping quiet, like just bring it to me. Let me flood you guys.
Of course,
But
I have to keep
Ibrahim,
quiet.
what do you make of this? The fact that they're taking maths out of it. So right now, if you don't have anything related to maths, you can, just pass it.
Let me start off with by saying, talking about maths.
Okay.
It's so unfortunate that all of us are on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because at the point I remember SS1, I was getting to love maths because of the woman that was teaching us.
Okay.
She explained very
Ibrahim.
well. Yeah.
Okay.
But then the woman was transferred to another class. Then there came a man whom we called Mr. Irrational.
Hey.
I know there's a topic in mathematics called irrational something. So we use that because the man who faced the board is very, very good at mathematics.
Yeah.
But he will write everything and then you must know, as Ria said, you must know it. You don't get it, you just say, you come here, come and do it again. And then you start beating the hell out of you. I had to scale the window of the classroom. Each time the man was always coming to the classroom. But then one thing I later realized, later part of my life in school, because as a journalist, we actually need mathematics. Because it can't be a thoroughbred investigative reporter without knowing mathematics. You have to know statistics, you have to know data analytics, you have to know, you have to be able to interpret polls, survey, coding, and all of those things. So we cannot explicate mathematics from journalism. But then it all has different levels, of application. So I'm not entirely in support of removing mathematics for those who are seeking admission, because as you said, will the schools be ready to accept
but the thing is, right, if they don't have anything related, like you want to do journalism, you want to do
deal with money.
Different.
In this life, you can never extricate yourself from mathematics. You deal with money. If I ask you 2 + 2, money-wise, I remember each time I mentioned some figures. Sometimes even when I'm reading the news and I mention some figures, the next thing that comes to my head is naira.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's to tell you that in money, dealing in financial world, dealing anything that has to do with, you have to do 1
But
+ 1,
Ibrahim, I'm
2
going to
+ 2.
argue this
But you
with
don't have to go to further
because
maths.
let me tell you something. I'm going to argue this with you because there are some students that are very intelligent in other aspects, but that maths, they don't get it right. And when they fail that maths, you see how the parents are all on there. Why did you fail this? But they are very good in other things.
In our brains, we have the right hemisphere or right something.
Yeah.
Well, the right and the left. So some develop the right, others also develop the left. I don't know which one is for arithmetic and the one for. So we actually developed the one that has to do with theory, speaking, communication, etc.
Why I agree with this is that education should be creative. It should bring out what you are strong in, not force you to where. Yes, you said right and left brain, and we use that and all that. There are some people that naturally will not develop their right and naturally would not.
It depends on what you do. No, it depends on what you do. Listen, one time in my life, I did statistics, and I must pass it. I told you, I must tell you that when I started doing it, that man we call him Baba Fancy, Mr. Atiba, we know the man.
Yeah.
He was one that taught us, statistics. You must pass it.
So imagine
and
I want to be a poet.
Because
Ibrahim,
having to do it, although I had to drop it after I left school.
Imagine I want to be a poet. I want to go into poetry. What do I need maths for? So there are certain things that we do not actually need maths for.
You need to know how to count your paragraphs.
Exactly, because if you're talking about stanza, you're talking about
find Y and find Z.
No. You won't go to the extreme. But you need basic. We all need basic maths in our life.
I find it very
Rhea,
interesting.
if you are selecting your future husband, you do maths. 1 + 1 + 2, is it tall? These are still part of mathematics.
I find it very interesting that we're discussing whether maths should be scrapped or
Right.
not. Whereas if we actually look at the global landscape of things, the world is increasingly deviating from traditional education.
That's
you know
right,
what I mean?
that's
So it's
right,
not a question
They
of
look at
maths or
aptitude.
English. It's how can we better equip our students for the world. And if you ask me, maths is not a requirement.
Because-
you have Afrobeat stars that are making money. Like you said, you have poets. You have. I saw a boy in Nigerian social media making millions from skateboarding. The world is increasingly deviating from traditional education. And the question is, how can our institutions equip them and not put those stringent requirements on them?
Exactly. Olamide, and even all those people that know maths in school right now, let me not go there because I'm very, when it comes to maths,
I have friends
let's not go there.
who have the doctorate.
There are some that are doing very well. It's just a
Some.
very
I'm
good
just
one.
against maths. Maybe because I don't know maths.
Math makes you, logically reason about something, critically think about things.
Okay, so after this show, Ibrahim, you will find X and tell me Y and Z went to.
And you must find that X.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Quite a beautiful conversation, but we'll take a breather now. And when we return, Ibrahim, the maths man, is ready for the newspaper review. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.